My name is Shaik George. I'm a psychotherapist and founder of Culture Minds Therapy. My role is to take therapy outside of the office and to you all at home. I bring to you the mind behind your favourite guests. We speak about mental health, therapy and self-care. Mim, thank you for coming today. I like to start my interviews with asking my guests the same question. On a scale of 0 to 10, how are you feeling today? 10 being extremely happy.
I'm feeling, I say a solid 9, you know.
Oh, that's good. So you're quite high up there.
Yeah, I'm up there. I just think where I'm at right now in life, I'm internally in like a good space.
That's good to
And
hear.
I know when I'm kind of not, do you know what I mean? Like I know when I'm a bit like, today's gonna be hard, or like this week's difficult because X, Y, and Z. But yeah, I'm good.
That's good. Oh, that's good. Hopefully we can get you up
to a
like
10.
a 10.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see how the conversation goes. Congratulations on everything you've done.
Appreciate it.
You're in a new movie, rom-com. I said it off camera. I'm not gonna get it wrong. What's love got to do with it?
You got it right.
There we go. Congratulations. I said it before, but congratulations. How was that?
Yeah, that was, I feel like for me, in my career, like even walking in here, like we was having a conversation off camera, which is like, oh, where is it that I know you from? As in, my career has been so like, I've done so many different things in different places, right? So nobody can really gather, where is this person? Where do I know him from? Because I've done like series, I've done documentaries, I've done radio, I've done spoken word, I've done writing, I've done interview, like I've done so many things, right? That now getting an opportunity like that, I think once in the next couple of years, people will be like, oh, that's the guy who was in that film, but that film that was like really good and like done quite well. So yeah, it's an amazing feeling as a creative and as an actor to get a role that kind of does like really well, hopefully, but we need to see how it does first and foremost.
Indian rom-coms are always funny.
Yeah, this is a Pakistani one though.
Oh, okay,
There's difference between Pakistanis and Indians.
Okay, tell me. Educate me. Go on, tell me.
No, it's just, you know what it is? A lot of people think, obviously India is such a big country that all Asian people must be from there.
Okay.
And they're not wrong, because we are part of that one space. Like we were all part of India before partition happened. And then they got separated into Pakistan, Bangladesh, loads of different places, right? It was once just India, but I take a lot of pride in saying that I'm Pakistani. It's like if you was to compare, saying like if a Ghanaian or a Nigerian, if they were to say, oh, you're African, but they might turn around and be like, no, I'm Ghanaian. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? If they have that pride for where they come from. Yeah. And because this film is it's a Pakistani rom-com, like it focuses on Pakistan's culture. And Indian culture has always been bigged up in movies and stuff, but Pakistani culture never has.
Oh, wow.
It's very rare. So anytime anyone says that, I'm like, yo, nah, we're out here, we're here.
We're out here, we're doing it. It's Pakistani, no. But you know, thank you for correcting me, because this is where I'm here to learn.
Exactly.
What was that whole, what is it, so now that you've said it's a Pakistani rom-com, what was it like putting Pakistanis on the map and kind of bringing out the comedy side and just bringing that culture out into a movie? What was that like?
Yeah, I think I can't take credit for doing that, because I think the person who deserves the credit for doing that is the writer of the film, Jemima Khan, who she was obviously married to the ex-prime minister of Pakistan. Oh, wow. Like back in the day. So she penned down such a great story, but she knew so much about Pakistan, the country and the culture, that me just coming in as an actor, I read the whole thing and I was like, yeah, I feel like, she's done a good job. Like, you know, it's similar if somebody writes about something that isn't from the place, but gets the privilege to write about a community and a culture, and you're left being a bit like, well, they're not even from the place, so why did they get the opportunity to do it, but not someone who's actually from the place? But with her, she has so much experience and she's done it in such a good way that when I read it, I was just like, yeah, she knows what she's doing. Oh, wow. She knows exactly what she's doing. So yeah, to be chosen to play one of the like younger brothers in the film was proper like a moment to be like, yeah, wicked. I'm definitely carrying on with this mad dream or idea that I had back in the day to like now actually making it a career path.
So share your thoughts on therapy in this culture and therapists.
I think it's going to therapy. I think as an ethnic minority in this country, I think is amazing, and I think it's needed. It's helpful. It brings balance. But I think there's a imbalance, yeah, when you're ethnic minority and your therapist doesn't understand your cultural background. Because now you've got someone who don't understand your cultural background telling you, oh, it could be this, or what if you tried this? But if they understand that your parents are immigrants, that you've had to like hustle and bustle, that they might not understand what racism in the workplace is like. They might not understand what feeling second class due to the color of your skin is like. Like there's an imbalance already. They're not going to really understand you. So I find it mad difficult.
That's really interesting because I actually have a business called Culture Minds Therapy where we provide ethnic minority therapists to match you with that suitable therapist.
Oh, that's really good, you know?
Yes, that's what I do. As a therapist, I saw that. You know, you're getting matched with a therapist that doesn't understand your culture, doesn't understand about you.
Okay.
So that's why I created my business where
So you match people?
Yeah.
So say if I wanted a therapist that understood my back, you'd match me with someone. So
if you wanted an Asian therapist, for example, I could help match you with an Asian therapist who understood your culture and your background. Yeah, Culture Minds Therapy.
That's check exactly it out. What I do. Yeah. We need more stuff like that.
Thank you. But yeah, no, it's interesting that you said that, and it's nice to know because you didn't know I was a therapist.
I didn't.
But the fact that I'm hearing that from you, it just goes to show that more work needs to be done, especially in alignment with what I'm already doing and what many other people are probably doing.
For sure.
What have been your barriers within your career mentally?
Barriers, I'd say confidence was a big barrier. I think radio really helped because with radio you can hide because it's not like, now it's different, right? Social media and everything, every single show you're doing is being filmed, there's cameras. Oh, wow. But when I was doing it and I was starting up, you could hide in a sense of like, you could create this radio personality and people think that's what you're like through hearing it, but not really know that's not really what you're like. And I think I realized there's a lot of masks when you're like a broadcaster, like a radio broadcaster. There's like, you're presenting a version of yourself to a mass audience. So now haven't been doing radio for a long time. I listen and I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. They're presenting that version of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you can differentiate between the two when someone is presenting themselves in that way.
Yeah, some people.
Or when they've taken off their masks.
Yeah, some people are authentically themselves, 100%, right? Like, that's just who they are. But with others, you can see.
Wow.
And I was one of the others. Like, I was young, I didn't know what I was doing. I was like creating this like image of myself, like, and it took me to step away from not doing it to then realize, okay, maybe that wasn't 100% authentic, but I was passionate about the medium and I loved broadcasting.
I know, because you said you did study media in schooling, and you were really passionate and really good about that. At what point, so you came off the radio, what work did you do on yourself to really reflect on who you were and trying to be that authentic person?
What work did I do? I think just always like being curious, maybe asking myself questions that maybe people wouldn't ask themselves on a day-to-day basis. But I think.
Any examples?
Like who are you? Like,
oh wow, that's a very deep question.
I'll be real, but because of my work, because I've had to do so much work, like, and I think as an actor, you have this brain where it's like, okay, so they just gave me a role as like a surgeon in Casualty or like a patient. I wonder how they view me. So perception and like identity is like constant voices in my head. It's like, how does this person view me? Oh, okay, he sees me as a human being. Alright, cool, it's all good. Oh, he sees me as like an actor in like a film. Okay, do you know what I mean? So I think that conversation's always been there. But yeah, I think just asking yourself the question and trying to answer it. And it changes that from time to time, I think.
Oh, wow. And as a Pakistani man, we know that mental health was quite prominent in your lifestyle with your mum being unwell. How did you feel as a Pakistani man in regards to mental health and understanding mental health?
I think if anyone was to grow up the way that I grew up and saw like their biological mum have like issues from a young age, you're proper like sensitive to like people who might have something. And sometimes you think, has that person got something? Or that person got something? Just because you've grown up seeing
it.
Your biological mum have different difficulties and issues, right? So I think you're proper receptive of it. And then you start questioning, oh, is it gonna be for me as well? Like, am I gonna end up the way that she is? So that leads you to then do more work on yourself and be like, why am I like this? Why am I like that? Do I like doing this? Do I like doing that? All of these things. So yeah, I'd say probably that was the main reason.
Wow. I'm admired by who you are today because of what you've gone through. You know, you've been very vocal about what you've gone through with mum and dad. How did you get to this point where you are today, where you're so open about your emotions and your feelings, but also confident as a man?
Because you know what it is, I'll be real, I've been raised by women my whole life. I had no dad. Uncles used to come in time to time. Older cousins used to come in, take me football time to time. But my whole framework of being raised, you know, what's that quote thing, man? It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
It takes like a flipping generation of women to raise me, because all of them have been my aunties, my grandmothers, sisters, wives of cousins. And I think as a man, I think I'm proper like in touch with my femininity, because we all got it in it. So
That's deep.
I know girls that are mad in touch with their masculinity. Like they're proper masculine.
Yeah.
They don't want to be feminine. Yeah. They want to be like a man.
Yeah.
And they want to be like, shut up, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And just like that. But you see it as a man, I think it's easy for me to be like, rah, 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 rah. I think it's harder for me to go to like the feminine side, because it's harder, innit? It's difficult.
Wow.
So,
talk a bit more about that, about like how you can channel those different energies, or even know and become aware of that, because not many men are aware that they have this femininity side to them.
No, they're lying. They do. They know it. I'll be real, because they love their mums. So how, like, if you've got love for your mum and you understand what your mum's done for you in order to be here, and you respect her, then you know that half of you is that. So you should be in touch with your like femininity in a sense, which is like your sensitivity as a man. But I think it's harder, is what I'm trying to say, to go there. So what everyone does is just like, nah, forget that.
Mask it.
Yeah. What was the Arsenal score last night? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is fine. We're men. Like that's what we talk about and we do. But I think being aware of it and talking about it, I think it's healthy, not just for you, but for other relationships around you as well.
Do you think men struggle to talk about their mental health?
I don't know if it's struggle. I just think they don't want to. Like, even me at times, I don't want to do this conversation every day, for example, like with people around me. I'm understanding this is like an interview set up. We're here to talk about it, right? But if I was to speak like this every day, it could probably get a bit annoying. Do you know what I mean? So I think just picking and choosing is probably a good thing. But yeah, maybe there is struggle. Maybe it's just like whatever. Just get on with whatever needs to get on with.
What made you do this interview today?
Because my publicist, he emailed me and he said, do you want to do it? And because we've been doing other stuff, like Soccer AM and Sky News and stuff, and they're like bigger platforms. He asked me, like, do you want to do it? And then I think I checked some videos out, and I thought, if I go and do it, I think I'll feel good when I leave.
Oh wow!
Because I'll be able to speak about certain things. You can't go on Soccer AM and talk about so talk to us about femininity. They're like, bro, shut up, go and do a volley and score it in the top bins. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Gives you that balance, I guess, right?
Yeah. So it's like, and in Sky News, you got to talk about being smart and like, why are you on here? What's the purpose of the film? Whereas this, I'm like, nah, this is cool because it could be a side that I don't really get to speak about as often as I'd like to,
And I know you've been very vocal about speaking about mental health and what you've gone through. How much more vocal would you, or what would you like to do in this kind of field, mental health? Is there anything you would like to do further?
I think for like, yeah, what you've done is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Because you're helping in the sector, right? I think me being Pakistani and being South Asian and just looking at like all the older members in my family and realizing if they maybe unpick some stuff early on in their lives, they might be in a better place like now. I don't know, that's just an observation. They could turn around and be like, nah, it's fine, I'm cool with it. But yeah, I'd like to set something up, man, like where I can be of service and help. Even for guys, like,
Yeah,
just
definitely.
to be, do you know what I mean? Because I'm a man myself, so it's like, even if it's something where I can set up, similar to maybe what you're doing, you know, because it's helpful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just to help people talk about certain things that they might not talk about when the cameras aren't on or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great. And I think for me, I find that a lot of women are like, yeah, when I do interviews, I get a lot of women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're very open and honest. And
Why is this? Because women are more like open to talk about like stuff.
I think maybe because we're more emotional, and I guess, yeah, maybe we just can be more vocal. Or we see a lot of women speak about mental health. We don't see a lot of men. So for me this year, my main focus is both men and women, but I do want to get a lot more men on the show.
Yeah.
To just talk about their mental health and their well-being, or even how they take care of their mental health and well-being. I have had a few guys like big in the game say they want to come.
Oh, really?
But when it comes to it,
They're not on it.
but I guess it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, and I guess the more men they see,
the more you get as well of those people who have like high profiles and people know them, and the more they start opening up, the more other people who are watching them will start realizing and listening to these people being like, I used to see this person as like a top pro footballer, for example, and they're talking to me about issues that they've had mentally and stuff. It's helpful, man. But I've always been open with it.
Yeah, you have been.
I've not like trying to hide and now try to jump on a bandwagon because it's popular. Like I've just always tried to keep it 100% real. But yeah, when you asked me the question, like, how are you today? If it was an old me, I would have been like, well, you know what? Like, I'm struggling with this. I got this going on. I got this. But right now, I don't really think there is that a lot of stuff that's going on that's bothering me in that sense. So I haven't needed to go therapy. I haven't been struggling with my mental health. I get crazy ideas like, oh, I need to do this or I need to do that. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Like that's probably
creativity.
That's creativity, being like, oh, you need to start this, you need to message this person to do this. It's not like I'm feeling depressed or, do you know what I mean? And like also my heritage and my culture. So I grew up in South London and I went to Rutledge High School, and a lot of my friends that were in high school, they were all Ghanaian, Nigerian, mixed race. Some people were Kurdish, a few Bangladeshi people. So like, I leaned more towards like black culture, and like, I leaned more to like the UK rappers that I was a big fan of, and I used to look at them as like role models to an extent. And then I got older and I started being like, why have I like not embraced my own culture?
Oh, wow.
But jumped so quickly
to
another culture, which I have the same amount of love and respect for. But now I'm starting to step into a place where it's like understanding and bettering my own like South Asian culture, because we've never been seen as being cool in the mainstream media. I'm talking about.
Okay.
We've never had like films made about us, like music wise. We can name like 3 people that have probably gone international who were like brown. So it's like all of them things play a part in your identity when you're brown, like growing up as like a Pakistani. So it's like I've really tried to like unpick that as well recently and been like, yo, like pay attention to your community and your culture as well.
Wow. And then look at the role you've got now in that movie. So it just kind of fits so well with who you are now, what you're doing now. Last question.
Okay.
How are you taking care of your mental health now? So what are the things that you're doing as a man to take care of your mental health?
Yeah, it's a good question. Lockdown, I think, introduced it, and it's become like a regular like routine of mine. But like going for a walk, like regular, has to be like 2-3 times in a week. I got this like park near my house which I just do like laps in. That's really helpful, especially when you're thinking about I got to do this, I got to do that, I got this going on. That allows me to like process. And I won't lie, I've been praying more in the mosques. I grew up in like a Muslim family, and when I was younger I didn't really used to go that much, but I've been going regularly every Friday to do like Jummah prayers. And I'm not gonna lie, that has been bringing me like crazy levels of like just surrender and like peace. Other than that, writing as well. Yeah, I'm writing a book at the moment, which has helped like process a lot of stuff that I've been doing. Yeah, I'd say those are the main things. Yeah, walking, praying, and writing.
I love that, and it's unique to you and your story and who you are.
Yeah.
So that's lovely. Oh, thank you for coming.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was a wicked conversation.